Guys, and welcome back to this video where this is part 3 on a basic intro graphing series that we are doing. And so where we finished up last time is we made a graph on very basic graph paper. We calculated a slope. We then went through and we did a little analysis of that data. We even derived an equation from the graph for flow rate. Flow rate is equal to area times velocity. I know you were overwhelmed when you saw that. I know it got me too. Pretty amazing stuff. So here's what we want to do today. Instead of doing a hand graph, what if you just wanted to graph it in Google? So here I've already typed my data in the Google Sheets, and all I'm going to do is highlight my data, insert. I'm going to insert a chart. And I love it. Google read my mind. Unfortunately, it read my mind backwards. Here's what's funny. It did give me at least the scatter chart that I wanted. Usually Google does a line chart automatically or some other weird thing. But it did do one thing right. I really would. I would like a scatter plot. Thank you, Google. But here's where it messed up. I want velocity to be on my x-axis. So where it says setup for x-axis, I'm just going to click velocity. And for my series, this is the data to be on my y-axis. I'm going to click flow rate. And so now I've got the data I want. It does have my title backwards. That bothers me. I've got to correct that. So let's see if I can somehow or another fix that. So flow rate. And if you're wondering why am I doing this, it's because, boom, flow rate versus velocity. Graph etiquette tells me that as I'm doing this, I gotta see if I can get a little space in there. Let's see. No, right there. Boom. Space. And I have got it. You should always have whatever is. Wow, I've somehow or another not got. Oh, I'm making a mess of it, right, guys? Right there. Back, 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 back. Oh, I did copy paste. So flow rate versus velocity. I've got that. And now all I need to do is come back to, let's do this. Go to your series, because this is where you're going to add the best fit line. You call the trend line when you do it in software. Trend line, and now for label, I want to say use equation. And look at this. It gives me my slope on here. Now, here I've got my completed graph in software, and it says the slope of my line is 3.0. Now, if you remember when we did this before, we got 2.3. And so now you may be going, oh man, I thought we would have a better line. The computer says 3.0 meters square. That, at least that's what Google says, but my hand graph said 2.3. And you may be kind of wondering why we didn't get as good a data as we would. Well, it had to do with our graph paper. So this is the advantage of using this kind of graph paper. If you remember, we talked about all these extra lines. That's where our precision comes from. Let's do something. Let's put a random line on this graph. So here we go. Random line drawn all. Whoa, I want a straight line. Sorry about that. Straight line. Thank you very much. Drawn all the way across the graph paper. So now when I click on that, let's do something. Let's blow this up and let's go in and take a deeper look. This is why I want you to understand why we usually like using this kind of graph paper as opposed to, say, this paper. Guys, if you remember, one of the problems I had was we were looking for like where the line made a perfect intersection, and it really didn't do a good job. So we had to just guesstimate as close as we could these spots. The advantage is this. When we're looking at this kind of a graph, oh my goodness, that is like, for a nerd like me, that is such a beautiful spot. Because on this graph paper, we can go up and down this line and we can find multiple. There's another one. I could probably go up and down this line and find no less than 5 or 6 spots that this graph makes perfect intersections. By the way, that's also why I draw a line from the edge of the paper to the edge of the paper. But that's why this paper will give you a little better answer than, say, for example, this paper. So, guys, I hope you kind of got it. It also lets you know, man, isn't Google so handy for being able to make a graph? And so, hopefully, you learned that as well. We've got our graph. Oh, my axes are still wrong, though, aren't they? I would need to change that axis to flow rate, this axis to velocity. Oh well, my numbers are good. So guys, hope you enjoyed it, and good luck with all your future graphing. Later, dudes. Bye. Or dudettes. Whatever you were going with. Bye.